Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. As no surprise, Governor Kathy Hochul signed a whole host of new so-called gun safety bills, and among those is a bill that requires credit cards and banks to track gun purchases. The bill requires special codes be used for gun and ammo purchases and is tasking financial institutions with keeping an eye on gun owners. This is already pretty concerning for all kinds of reasons that I've already laid out in previous videos about these merchant codes. Among those is giving banks and then the government another way to surveil gun owners and I don't know, maybe put together a database or list or otherwise compile these purchases into a searchable data set that they're not supposed to have? Originally, when the credit companies started talking about this, there was so much backlash that they backtracked. But now we are getting a patchwork of laws throughout the states, with some passing laws banning the merchant codes for guns, and other states like New York requiring it. But on top of that, there's also the issue of what else could be done with the data. Obviously, the government is going to be looking at it and wanting them to track it. We know from that controversial searchable map a few years ago, as well as campaigns by anti-gun groups and politicians and that California data dump, that giving out gun owner data to the public at large is very much in vogue with the anti-gun crowd. Sometimes this data is gotten through public records, but that is not always the case. Take, for example, the recent data breach at Bank of America. According to documents way after the fact, customers' names, account details, addresses, contact info, date of birth, social security numbers, and government IDs were all exposed in this breach. Now, if banks and credit companies are being tasked with tracking gun owners and their purchases on top of it, it would be a reasonable jump, I think, to assume that in the event of a breach, gun owner data and whatever the bank has on file to track you and your guns would end up in that hacked data. I doubt that they're keeping it in a separate file away from the rest of your stuff. And sure, it would be idiotic for someone to then target gun owners and show up at their homes or whatever else they might do with it, but that doesn't mean that A, people aren't idiots, or B, that gun owners wouldn't be targeted in some other way or have their data published. And in fact, New York was one of the states affected by the Bank of America breach, along with Massachusetts, Washington, D.C., and Oregon, all states with some pretty heavy anti-gun laws on the books. Now, I think that is purely coincidence, but I think that it definitely makes these merchant code requirements more concerning. Imagine an interactive map like the one we saw of Tesla owners recently, but it shows gun owners, like that New Jersey paper did years ago and were forced to take down. No thank you. Now, of course, we cannot stop data breaches, but one way that you can help protect yourself is with today's sponsor, Aura. Aura monitors your data and alerts you if your phone number, email, or social security number is found on the dark web. In the Bank of America breach, they didn't alert their customers for 3 months. That's bad enough, but on average, it takes a company 277 days to report a breach. So your personal data could be floating around out there for 9 months without you even knowing it. And it's not just Bank of America who announced another breach in January, by the way. Citigroup and Chase also had breaches last year. And with some of these states requiring these institutions to track you, your guns, and ammo, I feel like having an extra layer of protection is as important as ever. Not only does Aura watch for your information online, they will tell you right away if someone tries to use this information to access bank accounts, credit cards, or anything else, and they provide users with up to $5 million in identity theft insurance should the worst case scenario happen. They also have a ton of other features in their app to help keep you and your information safe. Now you can go and give Aura a shot for free with a 14-day free trial by going to aura.com/libertydoll or click my link down in the description, which is enough time to find out if you've been exposed and learn about it before any of these big companies actually notify you. Again, that is aura.com/libertydoll to help protect yourself against data breaches and get 2 weeks free. Now, in this Bank of America breach, they finally sent letters out last month and told folks in these states to contact their attorneys general and left it at that. Supposedly, what happened is that Bank of America hired a third-party data destruction vendor who picked up a bunch of documents from an unnamed financial center, whatever that is, on December 30th to take them somewhere and shred them. But then, somehow, mysteriously, some of this paperwork was found outside the building and also not in their secure boxes. They haven't said how this happened or how many people were affected. In fact, they said that they couldn't confirm to any customers whether or not their information was in the data that was literally blowing out in the wind. They just offered everyone 2 years of Experian, who has had their own leaks, and told everyone to watch their bank statements, credit statements, and other financial information on their own for the next few years. Now, last year, Citigroup had a big credit card hack and has a long history of data security issues. And Chase saw a software issue gave out the personal and financial information of 450,000 customers last year. And in 2016, and this one is wild, under pressure to meet sales targets, Wells Fargo employees opened millions of unauthorized bank accounts and credit cards using customer data and without their consent. Now that is bad and illegal enough in itself, but imagine if they are tracking gun owners with this data and there's someone who's having a bad day and has a falling down moment or something and decides that they're gonna, do something to these people who they know are gun owners because they don't like guns. I don't know. Crazier things have happened. I mean, look at FEMA and that whistleblower / person that was doing it, telling FEMA people not to help out people with Trump signs. Crazier things have happened than anti-gunners doing crazy anti-gunner things. Now, I know that that's delving into the tinfoil hat thing a little bit, but either way, I don't think that it is the bank's duty or responsibility, or frankly, their business to know what I am purchasing, let alone to know what guns and how much ammo I have. Now, imagine the information that you're a gun owner is included in any of these breaches and gets into the hands of overzealous folks who think guns are terrible or gun owners are nothing but Nazi white supremacists. Or I don't know, Antifa. They have had hit lists of people just because of what memes they post on social media. So I cannot see any of that going well for anyone involved. And I know that this is getting in the weeds here a little bit, but again, this is a little brain experiment we're doing. Now, back to Kathy Hochul and her new law. She is touting it as a way to see who in New York State is, quote, stockpiling guns and ammo. As she says, it's an indicator that the person could be planning something untoward. That sounds a whole heck of a lot like pre-crime. It is, quite frankly, a Fourth Amendment violation for the thought crime of exercising Second Amendment rights. And you know what it'll do? It will push people to pay cash or push gun sales underground. What it's not going to do is stop people from buying guns, especially when surrounded by a government and its cronies that look at them with fear. But then again, all gun control laws are backed by faulty logic, so I suppose what can we expect? Alright gang, that is it for this video. Please like, share, and subscribe if you are new here. Ring that notification bell and drop a comment down below. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe out there, and please, for the love of God, if you can, leave New York, and happy shooting.